I was just going to tell you down here that the rivalry had started all the way back in the water box. Matt Smith refused to start his motorcycle until Gage Herrera fired his up and started his burnout.
You cannot overstate the importance of this run. Of course, there's a whole lot of money put up by Stephen Scott Bryson and the folks at Getrix. But look at Gage, right there, on NHRA team in Sunoco Vision, looking over at Matt Smith. Unlike any other category of NHRA drag racing, the racers can see each other so well. Man versus man on these machines. You got the V-twin versus the 14,000 RPM Suzuki. They roll into the beams. Gage knows, he called out Matt. Gage hasn't really been down the racetrack just yet. Matt said that he's on the ropes. This is Matt's sponsors race. Flickering those bulbs, finally going in. Matt Smith, Gage Herrera, Getrix. Track, and it's Matt Smith driving by 666.2, 203.68, and by 9 thousandths of a second, Matt Smith loads up the world champ. Gage Herrera with 668.8 at 202.55, best run of the weekend so far, but it wasn't enough. Matt Smith gets it done.
All right, Joe, we're at the Denso Nationals. Let's ask Lisa from Denso, what do you think there? Matt Smith got called out and loads up the world champ.
We knew we could do it. We're super proud. That was a great race. And we're going to the next round. That's awesome.
Both of those racers bested the previous track record held by Angel, 669.6. They both bested the track record, but you can see the margin of victory up on Sunoco Vision. That's what 9 thousandths of a second looks like at 203.68 miles per hour. Back down to the starting line.
And Joe, I can tell you that it immediately fired up the entire MSR team, including the rider out next in the left lane. Rider of the pink, Denso, Matt Smith Racing Fuel. Here comes Angie Smith. And her opponent in round one of the Getrix Pro Stock Motorcycle call out, the man who ended the streak 1 week ago in Seattle when he picked up his first NHRA National Event win. Rider of the Trick Tools, White Alligator Racing Suzuki, Chase Van Zandt.
You got these three?
Chase Van Zandt, massive fan of Fergie, and just bringing that attitude to Pro Stock Motorcycle. Most recent race winner on the tour got the job done at the Northwest Nationals, and that was a first win as a promoter. Angie Smith, King, North Carolina, just saw her going down with a track record. Let's go down to the top end of the racetrack with the man of music.
Matt Smith came running into this interview with this fist pumping, and Matt, you said that was a win in of itself. Could the tide be turning?
I don't know if the tide's turning, but we definitely have the better bike rating system. They didn't make a run down the track today, so they had no data. So, all in all, that was a heck of a run for their first pass, but for us, this Denso, Outlaw Bear, Greg Butcher Trucking, Smith Trucking, IGGG, everybody helps us. Lisa's in the house, Dan's in the house, all the Denso reps are here. We got that round win. Thank you.
The fired up 6-time champ Angie Smith on the starting line. He would love her to get through against Chase Van Zandt, the Trick Tools machine. Chase is known for his starting line prowess. He's excellent on the tree. Now that the bike is running. And that V-twin drive around on the big end once again. Yes, it happens again. Chase Van Zandt off the starting line first. Angie Smith gets the stripe. 672.2, 202.42. This time by 4 thousandths of a second. Angie Smith wins the race. Look at the fist bump. Look at the emotion from Angie on that Denso motorcycle. 673.8, 198 for Chase Van Zandt. Was 31 on the tree, left first, but it wasn't enough. And so no, Angie Smith will advance to round 2 of the Getrix All-Star Call-Out. Angie is going on, and remember, Low ET gets to call out their opponent. We do not know who Matt Smith will pick, but Angie has advanced to round number 2. Let's go back down to the starting line.
And Joe, we now know that there will be at least 3 Denso Matt Smith Racing V-Twins into round number 2 of this call-out, because there are a pair of them in the water box. Rolling out first at her home national event, coming off a track record-breaking weekend in Seattle, the Scrappers Racing Denso Hill, it's Gianna Evaristo. And her opponent, one of the last riders to work his way into this Getrix Pro Stock Motorcycle call-out, rider of the Denso, breaks fuel for Matt Smith Racing, a U.S. national champion, one of the great veterans of this sport, John Hall.
Gianna Evaristo called out John Hall on the stage yesterday. John told us he was surprised that apparently there had been a meeting at Matt Smith Racing to discuss strategy, and he missed the meeting. He missed the meeting and gets called out. They are both having career seasons. Of course, John Hall with that one tremendous accolade. Category the past couple of seasons, and this year really coming Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out. Gianna Evaristo, starting off as Gianna Salinas. That family is so heavily involved in the sport of drag racing in all categories. Of course, Mike back at the track yesterday, and Jasmine running top fuel. But Gianna, perhaps picking one of the most difficult to tackle challenges in all of drag racing, that is Pro Stock Motorcycle. She has been coming along strong, and Jason Galvin just mentioned to you that track record performance, or speed record performance up there at Pacific Raceways. She is coming in hot. They got a lot of confidence on this motorcycle. You see Michael Ray with a pat on the back there. Gianna Evaristo with the Scrappers Racing Denso machine going up against John Hall. John in a heavy tuck, the brakes machine. Be responsible to keep everyone safe. Doug Herbert's charitable organization that teaches young men and women how to drive safely. But right now, the Getrix Pro Stock Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out. It's Gianna versus John in a battle here at Sonoma Raceway. Gianna Evaristo, and Gianna Evaristo, 667, 4, 54. A tremendous run for Gianna Evaristo. What a speed! Her top speed of her career, low ET of her life. Gianna Evaristo just uncorked one on John Hall.
Well, Joe, you should have seen the celebration down here, and I've got her father, Mike. Her husband comes over for the, hey, how about that? Another career run for you, young lady.
She's doing amazing.
I got her
Yes, she is, Joe.
2:04.54, unbelievable. And if you're wondering, like, wow, that's got to be the track speed record, it's not. We're at the fastest place in the world when it comes to pro stock motorcycles. Matt holds at 2:05.04, but what a run. Personal best, Gianna Evaristo. 0.79 the tree for John Hall, and just did not run under full power all the way down the racetrack. Look at Gianna, look at her down there on Sunoco Vision. She is fired up, and I think that's what everybody likes the best about Gianna, is that she wears her emotions on her sleeve. You know when she's happy, you know when she's sad, and you know that she is elated right now after that 667. Let's go back down to the starting line for our final pair.
And Joe, a big weekend for the first rider rolling out in this final pair. He is making his 500th career pro stock motorcycle start this weekend. The first ever make 500 starts on 2 wheels. He is a former U.S. Nationals champion. Here's Steve Johnson. And the man who called him out, riding the flagship machine for the folks at Gittrix, trying to win his sponsors. Pro Stock Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out event here in Sonoma. The first to 200 miles on 2 wheels is Hector Arana Jr.
Hector Arana Jr. climbs aboard the Gittrix motorcycle, gets ready to fire up. Let's go down to the top end with Amanda Music.
We won't ruin the next round of picks, but Angie said she knows pretty well who she's going to face in this next round of the call out. And what might you have for that bike that you know that it is?
We're just going to go out there and do the best we can. This Denso bike is set on me. When Matt engaged, our whole team erupted, and that's what it's all about. When you have something big like that happen, it builds you up. And I had to go out there and do my job, and it's awesome to have not one, not two, but 3 bikes. Thank you to everybody who helps us. We can't do it without you.
Confidence brings confidence. In that big moment, Gage calling out Matt delivering, gave confidence to the entire team, but we're not done yet. Speaking of confidence, Steve Johnson, 500 NHRA races this weekend, folks. A tremendous milestone. No other pro stock motorcycle racer has done it. Steve Johnson, the ultimate dedication to the sport that he loves. Doing a great job. Hector Arana called him out. The Gittrix motorcycle, the first pro stock motorcycle over 200 miles per hour. Now it seems not quite commonplace. Every time we see a 200 on the board, it's a big deal. They've done a great job with pro stock motorcycles. But now only one can advance to the next round. Gittrix Pro Stock Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out. Hector Arana Jr. And Steve Johnson. All but assured he will be selected by Matt Smith in the next round of racing. 684.7, 197.80. Steve Johnson is going around 2 with the Gittrix Pro Stock Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out. Hector Arana throws away a 672.4 at 200 miles per hour. Maybe a little trouble on the starting line for Hector. Perhaps a double clutch. 059. Very early for Hector Arana. That will send Steve Johnson next round. Gittrix Pro Stock Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out. The big red evil eye staring back at Hector, number 3 in the world. Tough way to go out. We'll move into the remainder of the Pro Stock Motorcycle Racers. Q3, Ichi Kawakami. Out of Toyama City, Japan. He's at number 10, actually having a pretty good weekend here this weekend. Ichi back on tour, ran with the NHRA a couple of decades ago, and now back, ran 707 and 705, going to go up against Chris Bostic. That is the team bike to Chase Van Zandt. Had yet to get down the racetrack, sponsored by the Surf. Called it Pit Cabana down there, because they've got it all. It's very nice, very fancy. Swing by Chris Bostic's pit, go see the folks at the Surf. But Bostic is looking to replicate the performance of Chase Van Zandt, and they can do that. Bostic, this is the run they've been looking for. We'll see the back half. 677.7 and 197 for Chris Bostic. Bostic up to 3rd overall, but we have separated our Gittrix bikes from the rest of the field. And so Chris Bostic is going to slide in and see where Bostic ends up. 7th overall with that 677 and 197. But he's slowing down. Here's Bostic. Next up, Clayton Howard from California. And Richard Gadsden. Richard, a rookie in the category. Ran some races last year. On the Vance and Hines Revzilla machine with Eddie Craywick overseeing. Of course, Eddie ran last year. Clayton Howie. Got the Chicos on board. Italian restaurant in Kingsburg. Clayton Howie can get down the racetrack, running that Stoker Racing motorcycle, 7073 189, perhaps literally following in the footsteps of Gage Herrera. And Gary Stoker and the folks down there have done a good job making it all work out. Thanks to folks at the Chicos, Italian and Kingsburg, for helping out Clayton to get out here in the NHRA. Unfortunately, Richard Gadsden doesn't get off the starting line. They're going to push him back. Have a look at that motorcycle. Reps the machine. Richard going to jump off the bike, head on back. I'll have to sort it out and come back up for Q4. Kind of an interesting weekend for the Reps of the guys. Fighting their way through. So the number one qualifier, Matt Smith, with a track record of 666, 268, followed by Gian Evaristo, number 2, 667.4.